based on what you just said, would you invest in yourself?
Yeah, I do all the time because this is actually a good piece of advice I got. By every day, by not selling, I'm making the decision to buy. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's, whatever hot, like round numbers, I'm not saying it actually is. Let's say we're worth $100 million. By not going and selling the company, I'm making the decision to invest $100 million in Hawk right now.
Right, right, right.
So it's that kind of, thought, and I think about that all the time with different aspects, different investments too. This came up because I was talking to a very bright investor friend of mine, and I'm trying to remember which business it was, but I was like, I'd already cashed out my initial investment, so I'm like, it's house money now, and he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I invested 50 grand. I already made my 50 grand back. I'm letting the rest ride. He's like, no, that's not house money. That's your fucking money. What are you talking about? He's like, and I think it was worth 150 grand. So he's like, that
Yeah.
$100,000 that you chose not to take off the table is you making the decision to invest $100,000 in that today. So like every investment I look like the only caveat to that is taxes. So
Hmm.
like right now, I think the S&P is, and it's ripping again today. I think
Yeah.
it's very high. Over the next 10 years, it'll be higher, I'm sure. But if it were, a next 2 year decision, I would bet on the S&P being lower in the next 2 years at some point, and definitely not having 9, 10% returns, which I can get in other places. So if it wasn't for the government taking 50% of my gains that I've had the past 5 years, I would sell that right now and put it into other things. So taxes are what stop people from moving stuff around in that sense. But thank you being in California too. But other than that, when it comes to my own company, et cetera, it's always that piece that you have to think about. Is like I could sell this today, so instead I'm making that investing decision.